Artlist.io.
Hi, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be discussing the history of Ralph Lauren, and this video was much to be expected if you've been following my channel, because I love Ralph Lauren, and I made so many videos on Ralph Lauren on how to achieve that style. So I thought it fitting that I also share the history of Ralph Lauren with you. So let's get into it, guys. Ralph Lauren, although his brand is synonymous with luxury and refinement, was actually not born into that world. He was born as Ralph Lifshitz in 1939 in the Bronx, and the son of Jewish immigrants from Belarus who came to America in search of a new life. His father was a house painter and his mom was a homemaker, and they lived worlds and worlds away from luxury, but he had an extraordinary vision. Growing up, he would leaf through magazines. He was obsessed with the world of old Hollywood. He was obsessed with Cary Grant and Fred Astaire and Gary Cooper. He loved the fact that they could move with an effortless grace. They were charming. They dressed with precision, and their lives were very glamorous. And to him, this was aspirational. He wanted that. He wanted that life. He wanted to transform his life. He wanted the tuxedos, the convertibles, the beautiful interiors, and he sought to achieve that. At 16, he, along with his brother, changed their names from Lifshitz to Lauren, which that some people speculated that he wanted to move away a little from the Jewish last name because it was a bit of a burden, unfortunately. And the theory was that he chose Lauren because of Lauren Bacall. He really loved old Hollywood, so he thought Lauren Bacall was he really loved Lauren Bacall, so he thought that he would change his name to Lauren, and then he became Ralph Lauren. And I don't personally think that he sought to erase where he came from or his background. I thought that he did that in order to be more aligned with his vision of what he saw for himself. He studied business at Baruch College, and then he dropped out and began working in the garment district as a salesman. And he was surrounded by fabric and form, and there he found his passion, his language. And at a small Thai company called Bu Bramo, he persuaded his boss to let him design a line of wide, luxurious ties inspired by English elegance and old Hollywood. And these ties were bold, and they juxtaposed the very conservative, thin fashion of ties in the 1960s, and they immediately sold. In 1967, with a small loan from his brother, he started his own brand, Polo by Ralph Lauren. The name evoked a world of luxury and refinement, of aristocratic leisure. It was a little snooty, but that was the point. It was about exclusivity. And within a year, Bloomingdale's gave him his own in store boutique, and it became a first in retail history, because even before that happened, Bloomingdale and Ralph Lauren got into a bit of a tits because Bloomingdale refused to sell his ties if he did not remove his logo from the ties, and Ralph Lauren refused. But eventually, Bloomingdale's gave in and gave him his own boutique at Bloomingdale's. And at this time, Bloomingdale's was like the pinnacle of Manhattan retail fashion stores. So he wanted to have clothes that just not for the sake of having clothes, but he also built a brand around his clothes. The 1970s were his golden decade. He launched his menswear line, and then in 1971 he launched his women's collection, and they infused nostalgia, soft tailoring, romantic, clean silhouettes, because obviously he was very inspired by old Hollywood and that their fashion, and his clothes did not chase trends. They created an atmosphere, a fantasy of elegance, that I think that he managed to bridge elegance, American elegance, with the English aristocratic style. In 1972, he released his signature polo shirt, It's simple, confident, and it also had the iconic small embroidered horseman. And it became a symbol of aspiration. It was a shorthand for the world that Ralph Lauren envisioned. Athletic, yet aristocratic. It was accessible, yet it was elite. And the brand was just never about clothing. He specifically wanted to build a lifestyle with his brand. He built a different world. His stores was set like movie scenes. It had mahogany furniture, tartan upholstery, jazz floating through the air, chandeliers. He understood that people did not simply want to wear beauty, they wanted the lifestyle that came along with it. And his vision expanded beyond apparel into fragrances. He had inspirations from the American West to Fifth Avenue to preppy style, and his collection celebrated cowboys, it celebrated college boys, it celebrated women, and he was able to create this life that he really wanted for himself and for other people who also wanted to buy into his dream. By the 1980s, his empire spanned the globe. He opened his flagship on Madison Avenue, and in 1997, Ralph Lauren Corporation went public, and Ralph Lauren became one of the most influential fashion houses. He styled Robert Redford in The Great Gatsby. He styled the U.S. Olympic teams. He styled White House state people at the White House state dinners. So he became a symbol of a lot of things. Even in Brooklyn, a group called the Lowlives, these are working class kids with big dreams, began wearing Ralph Lauren polo head to toe, and it became a symbol of rebellion and pride. And in 2016, his designs took the courts of Wimbledon. And I don't know, it's just something about Ralph Lauren and tennis that just goes so well together. And it makes complete sense that he became the tournament's official outfitter for the United States Olympics at Wimbledon. Through the decades, Ralph Lauren remained the quiet architect of American style. He did not chase the trends, he did not chase the futuristic styles or the avant garde. He maintained his classic, refined style. And his aesthetic was mostly rooted in memory of the American West of old Hollywood. And in 2015, after nearly 50 years, Ralph Lauren stepped down as CEO, but he continued to be the executive chairman and the chief creative officer. In 2025, Ralph Lauren received the Presidential Medal of Freedom given to him by President Joseph Biden. And it was a wonderful, wonderful achievement. And I was so happy when I saw that because it recognized not just his contributions to fashion, but also his contributions to the embodiment of the American dream. The boy who once watched Cary Grant on a flickering screen now stood at the White House and he's honored as a national icon. He has built a life for himself from relatively nothing. In the 2020s, I would say that Ralph Lauren's brand experienced a renewed cultural fascination. I think that with the whole trend of minimalism and old money aesthetic, I think that nostalgia for authenticity and just cleaner, not cleaner in the sense that I don't know how to put this, but for lack of better words, just cleaner and more minimalist style. I think it revived the obsession with Ralph Lauren, and a lot of people embrace the Lauren aesthetic. We're having Ralph Lauren Christmases now. We're having the preppy style with Ralph Lauren. And the fashion world, which has cycled through decades of minimalism and streetwear, began to crave this storytelling again, this achievement or this aspiration for some sort of elegance. So, today, at over 80 years old, Ralph Lauren has remained a symbol of creative endurance. And I think that his dedication to sticking to that classic nostalgic minimalism has kept him very relevant and has kept his style very classic and timeless. So this is the story of Ralph Lauren, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.